Hello there, I am Maria Doherty, Flower and Vibrational Essence Practitioner. Now, I hope you can see me because I haven't done this for a while and it's been a while since I've done it on Lindsay's group. I want to say, first of all, thank you, Lindsay, from Network of Women from the Now group for giving us this wonderful opportunity to talk about our businesses and our passions and how we want to let you know about what we do. So thank you for watching the live. I'm not seeing any comments yet. I think I could just see that there's one person watching, but there isn't. A name's not coming up. So sorry if the names don't come up, if I don't mention you in person. But thank you for watching, whoever you are. I hope you can see me okay and hear me okay. And if you could maybe let me know if you can, that would be helpful. There aren't any comments coming up yet, but I think sometimes there's a bit of a delay, so that's okay. We'll manage. Okay, so like I said, my name's Maria Doherty, and my business on Facebook is Empowering Sensitive Children. I actually work with children and adults, and Flower and Vibrational Essences are very helpful to promote well-being in children and adults, and even in animals like pets such as cats or dogs or horses. But my main emphasis has been with children and adults. So I got interested in essences. I took my very first essence way back in 1995 when I was living in Ireland at the time. And I was sitting my driving test for the fourth time. And as you can imagine, I was very anxious and nervous about the whole thing. And a friend of mine recommended, why don't you take Rescue Remedy? And I'd never heard of this. So Rescue Remedy is from Batch, or Back, some people call it, but I think he was an English doctor. It was pronounced Batch. So this is Rescue Night, which has the white chestnut in it as well, if you've got problems with sleeping. But the Rescue Remedy is in a little yellow bottle like this. So I took the Rescue Remedy, and it did help me to calm down and to feel more grounded. And I actually passed my test, so it definitely worked for me. So the Rescue Remedy is very good in situations where you're a bit nervous. Maybe you've got a fear of flying, or you're going for an interview. It's very useful in crisis situations where you've had a shock, like an accident, for example, or you've heard bad news, or you've had a bereavement. And it just helps us to come back into our bodies and to become more grounded and to be calmer. So that's the Rescue Remedy. So I am also an occupational therapist, and I've been working with children for 30 years, children and young people, so in the NHS. So I'm particularly interested in the well-being of children, because I feel it's really important that we work with the children so they have the gifts and the tools to know how to cope with life, and that's where flower essences can help. So that was back in 1995. I needed to pass my driving test, by the way, because I was going to a job as the head occupational therapist in Dundee and Angus, so I had to be able to drive because I had to be able to visit schools and visit children in their homes as well. So it was really important that I passed that driving test. Anyway, I went on then, so many years later, I think it was 2007 or something, to do the batch course, to learn about the batch range of essences. So I did that back in 2007, 2008, and began to use them on myself, began to use them with friends. That's what I started out doing. Then I went on to develop other skills, like I did Reiki, became a Reiki master. I did Indian head massage, and I did a therapy called Metatronia. So a while later, I think it was back in 2015 or something, another friend of mine said, oh, I've seen this course, I've heard about this course, Maria. It's a diploma in flower essences, and I think you would really like it. So she sent me it must have been an email or something, she sent me the link, and got in touch with this lady called Sarah Estelle Turner from Essentially Flowers, and she was the teacher of the course. So this course was a 2-year diploma course, and it involved learning about essences from all around the world as well as around the UK. So essences from the Australian range in Australia, from Alaska, from America, from France, from Iceland, lots of different places, including Scotland, like the Findhorn range and the Living Tree Orchid range, which is made up in the Isle of Gia. So lots of opportunities. So I think on the diploma course we learned about 12 different ranges, and within those ranges there were like lots of essences. You know, the back has 38, but the Alaskan and the Australian range now has grown so much that it's like hundreds of essences. So obviously you have to kind of choose. I have probably 100 essences, but you have to choose which ones you're drawn to and which ones you want to work with and which ones you feel are going to help most of the people. So, what do I want to say now? I suppose it's to say what is a vibrational essence. So I'm just going to show you, if I can find it. This is the booklet from the British Flower and Vibrational Essences Association. And I'm sorry, it's on my mobile, so it's back to front. But this is the official, if you like, the official description of flower and vibrational essences. So they are liquid solutions of the energetic imprint of flowers, plants, trees, crystals, and other natural sources. Together with water and preservatives, usually alcohol, they are sold in small bottles and taken orally. So they're sold in small bottles and taken orally. So this is what they look like when you buy them in the shops. This is the Moonflower range that my teacher, Sarah Turner, makes. This is what an Australian one would look like. And then we've got a little smaller bottle, which the Alaskan essences. And then, of course, you might be more familiar with the batch. That's the large one. It's a good one for confidence. And there's also ones made from crystals as well. Lots of ones from the gems and crystals. There's ones even made from metals, and I'm going to talk to you about one of those, which is a gold essence, which I have from the Moonflower range, and what the qualities of that essence is. There are also animal essences, and these are made vibrationally or shamanically through ceremony. And a one I like to use from the Wild Art Animal range, which is made by Daniel Maple in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, is Sparrow. And Sparrow is helpful for freedom from worry. He told us about the Bob Marley song, Three Little Birds. Every little thing is going to be all right. So that's what Sparrow does, helps us to free us from worry. So what do essences do? And I'm a member of the British Flower and Vibrational Essences Association, so I'm going to sort of give their explanation what they do. And they say their energy helps us to develop self-knowledge and understanding and support us while we make the necessary changes in the way we behave, in the way we think, and make the most of life's opportunities. I'm seeing some people now. I'm seeing Lindsay, and I'm seeing Tracy, and I'm seeing Andre Claire. So lovely to see you here, and thank you for joining me. So I'm just going to give a little brief history of, it's going to be very brief, of flower essences. They've been around since time immemorial. You know, the ancient Egyptians used them. The Aborigines have been around for 40,000 years. They've used them in their medicine for well-being. And they've basically been known to be therapeutic for helping with mood. So they work on the emotional, on the mental, and the spiritual. We don't say that they work on the physical. They work on the emotional. So when I see a client, I ask them, what do they want to work on? How do they want to feel? What's their goal? So it might be something like, you know, they want more confidence. They want to feel better about themselves, or better self-esteem. Maybe they're feeling tired and they want more energy. They're just feeling kind of exhausted all the time, so they want to kind of boost their energy. So these are they work on the emotions. So they don't work like on the physical. So if you've had a headache or a broken leg or some sort of a medical condition, they're not going to work on that physically, but they will work on the emotions, which will help you to get better from your condition. So because they work on the emotional level. So just jumping on now to the 20th century, when we've got Dr. Batch, who was an English doctor, And he was very interested in the personality and how that affects how we feel and how we are when we're ill. And he felt that that orthodox medicine was too focused on the symptoms, and he wanted to look at the personality of the person and how we can treat the personality. And by enhancing the well-being, we could would then help physical well-being if we enhance the emotional well-being. So that was Dr. Batch. So back in 1930, he left his GP practice. He had a practice on Harley Street. He was very well known and respected. And he went round England, round rural England, researching and looking for these flowers. And he came up with 38 flowers, and including the Rescue Remedy, which is a combination essence. So there's 5 flowers in this one, in the Rescue Remedy. So for the emergency essence. So that was Dr. Batch. So he made them, as most people do nowadays, using the sun method, usually in early spring and up until midsummer, when the sun is quite high. He went out in the morning at 9 o'clock. He picked the flowers, put them in spring water, and left them there for 3 hours. So the vibration and energy of the flower went into the plant. Sorry, went into the water. The vibration of the flower went into the water. The water was then drained, and some alcohol was added purely as a preservative. So it could have been brandy or vodka. And then it was put into a bottle, and that was called the mother tincture. So that's a picture of the mother tincture. So there's a few pictures there in this book. And the one at the bottom with the kind of goldy one, that actually is flower essence being made in moonlight, because we've gone on now to make essences in times when there are special phases of the moon as well. So they can be made in moonlight as well as in sunlight. And my teacher, Sarah Estelle Turner, she calls her essences moonflower essences, because as well as using sunlight, she also uses the energy of the moon as well for making these essences. So we've got our stock bottle, and as a practitioner, what I would do is, once I find out what the person wants to work on, I would get what's called a dosage bottle. And I would put spring water into the dosage bottle, and then I would add a few drops of the different essences into that. And you can mix the different ranges. You don't have to go with the same ranges. You can, as long as the flower, you can usually put flowers together. You can put gems with flowers, crystals with flowers. You can put like the gold or the silver with flowers. But the animal ones are a bit different. They are usually, you just mix them with other animal essences. So you don't put them, you can put them in with flowers, but Daniel Maple, who's the producer of the essence, say they maybe have only 50% of the work to only 50% of their strength. No, sorry, 80% of their strength if you put them in with something else. So it's best to keep them together. So when you're making up a dosage bottle, you use up to 6 essences. Now you can use less, you can just use 1, or you can just use 2. But 6 is the maximum that is advised. So that's about the dosage bottle. Oh yes, and you take the drops. It's got a little dropper bottle on the tongue, and it's usually recommended 4 times a day. You take them in the morning and at night time, last thing at night, first thing in the morning, and twice during the day as well. And you can put them on your tongue. It's usually recommended to put it on your tongue and just keep it there for a few seconds before you swallow it. Or you can do what I like to do, is just put it into a drink of herbal tea or water and just be sipping it throughout the day. That's another nice way to take it. Now, another way to take essence, especially for children, because they're preserved in alcohol, they mightn't like the taste, or I usually use vodka because it doesn't taste so strong, but sometimes children don't like taking things orally. So you can put it into a spray bottle with spring water and the flower essences, and again a little drop of vodka, and then you can spray it round the aura of the person, yourself or the child. Or another nice thing to do is to put into a little bit of moisturizer and rub it into the body. And I think for children it's quite good to rub it into their feet if they let you do that, because it's very kind of grounding, and it's a nice way for children to take essences if they don't want to take it by mouth. Okay. So now So I'm going to maybe just jump on now and just talk to you about some of the actual essences so you can see them. So I'm going to show you pictures of them, because this is what I do when I do a consultation. I show the client the picture. So I hope you can see Apple Blossom. So Apple Blossom is from the Moonflower range, from Sarah Estelle Turner, my teacher. So it's gently restorative for your energy system. It carries the energy of youth and optimism, because this was quite a young apple tree apparently that she made it from. It helps when you're tired and in need of self-nurturance. The white vibration cleanses away old patterns, and the pink hues open your heart to see, to enable you to be able to look after yourself, to enable you to take care of yourself, for self-care and compassion. So that's a very good one to take when you're feeling tired and exhausted, to help with self-care and self-nurturance and self-compassion. So that's the lovely Apple Blossom. Now another one in her range is Bluebell. Now, we'll be seeing the Bluebell soon. So this soothes and calms and refreshes. It allows us to be rather than to do. So instead of running around like a headless chicken, it allows us to be still. And she says, Sarah says, in this quietness, we find our voice and are able to speak out from the heart. So that's Bluebell. Now it's daffodil time. So I've got the daffodils here with me just now. So this particular daffodil is very beautiful. It's got an orange centre. So again, it's from the Moonflower range. So it's for courage and clear communication and self-worth. So Sarah says, daffodil is a flower of balance and light. It balances the masculine and the feminine energies through her form and colour. Yellow gives courage to stand upright in your truth. And her 6 petals bring in the vibration of love and gentleness. Her orange centre reminds us that at your core, you are gold. That's the lovely daffodil. So it helps us to take heart-centered action as well. So that's the daffodil. And then just one more from the Moonflower range, which is a metal essence, which is gold. So this works on the solar plexus chakra and the heart meridian. So this is about courage and strength and self-worth. The gold balances the solar plexus and the heart meridians and anchors self-worth, courage and strength into your energy system. So that's a very popular one with my clients. Gold is they often choose the gold one. They really like that. So where will we go now? We could hop over to Australia and look at Fringe Violet from the Bushflower range. This is very good for sensitive people who need to protect themselves, protect their aura from the influence of other people. So it's a good one to take for psychic protection and healing the aura. So if you're a very sensitive person to other people's energies, this is a good one to take. It's a good one for children to take as well if they're particularly sensitive. So that's Fringe Violet from the Australian Bushflower range. I'm going to just show you Pawpaw next from the Australian Bushflower range. And this helps with overwhelm. It helps with the assimilation and the integration of new ideas and information. It helps to activate our awareness of our higher self, so it works with our intuition. And it's particularly helpful when we're having to make a major life decision. It helps bring clarity and to find what the decision is and what's best for ourselves. It's also good for students to take at times of exams. Or if you yourself are going on a course or learning some new information and you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, it could be useful like in a new job or a new course that you might be doing. Okay, now waratah also. This is Ian White from the Australian Bushflower Essences says this is his best-selling flower. It's the one of the waratah has the highest vibration of all the flowers in Australia. It's very honoured by the Aborigines. So this one is for the black night of the soul. This is for despair. And this tends to work very quickly. It's quite as you would need it to be when you're feeling in despair or the black night of the soul. So it tends to work probably within a few days. And I was at the British Flower and Vibrational Essence Association conference online last weekend, and he was saying, Ian White was saying, that waratah is one of his best-selling essences, which isn't a surprise really, particularly at the times that we're in at the moment. Now I'm going to tell you about alpine mint bush as well, because that's another lovely essence, and that's particularly good for caregivers. So when if you're a caregiver, you either work in the health service, or you're a carer, you're looking after an ill family member, this is good for revitalization, to help with your energy levels. So just to be able to revitalize and help you to kind of look after yourself as well. Now, sunshine wattle, I think this is the last of the Australian I'm going to talk about. It was one of my favourite. It looks like a burst of sunshine. So this one is all about feeling optimistic. So it's for optimism and joyful expectation. It's particularly good for people who feel they fail quite a lot, and then they're in that sort of mindset of, oh, I'm going to fail again. I'm not going to try. So keep on trying, and to be trust in a positive outcome. Now, I think I've seen a comment there from Lindsay about how quickly do they work. Yes, like the waratah works very quickly, but it varies from person to person. Some people it might be a few days, and other people it might be a few weeks. Or for some people who've got very like lots going on emotionally, shall we say, they may need a course of different essences, that they might need to, have a cycle of maybe 3 months of different essences. So each time they take the bottle, I should say, for a month. It usually lasts about 3 to 4 weeks. And then if they felt that they needed to, they would come back for a review of that, and they would not necessarily take the same essence again. It would depend on how they're feeling. So they might take some of the same ones, or might add in some different ones. So I'm just going to talk to you about one of the Alaskan ones, because I think this is quite a good one. This is an environmental essence, if I can find it. And it's called Glacial River. Now, the Alaskan range does flower essence, gem or crystal essence, and also does environmental. So this has got the vibration of the place, of the environment. So Stephen Johnson, excuse me, who made these essences, the Alaskan range, he made some in Glastonbury at the Chalice Well. So it's got the energy of the Chalice Well. He also did one, Northern Lights one, which was made with the energy of the Northern Lights. And then the Glacial River is about, this is quite a good one. He doesn't have any pictures for the environmental ones, only for the flower ones. But this Glacial River is for those who are attached to the current form of their lives, even when there is every indication that it needs to change. It helps us to accept and embody change, because we feel enough support to let go of what has been. It works by directing the energy of our resistant, excuse me, towards the realization of our destiny. So this is called Glacial River from the Alaskan range, and it's very much like you're holding on to the riverbank. You don't want to let go because you don't want change. You don't want to go out there and do something different, but you know you need to. So the Glacial River helps you to let go of that riverbank and go and swim in the river. Swim in the river of life. That's the Glacial River. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the batch ones, because people may be familiar with them. And this is one of my favourite ones. It's what we call my constitutional essence. It's oak. And oak is all about when you're tired and exhausted and you feel you just have to, you're go, particularly for the personality who is on the go all the time and takes on far too much and then gets exhausted. So this helps you to have strength, renews your energy, but also helps you to delegate to someone else and look after yourself. So oak is a very useful essence, and that's the little oak blossom from the oak tree. I'm going to just talk about larch, because this is another lovely essence from Batch, and this is for confidence. And it's particularly good, a bit like the sunshine wattle. If you've you failed a project, or didn't do well in an exam. It's good for children or students doing exams, and you feel, oh, I failed the last time, I'm going to fail again. Larch gives you confidence. So larch is the essence for confidence, for self-confidence. Now, I'm kind of aware of my time, so I don't want to run over. So I'm going to see if I can see any of the comments. Thank you for your comments. So, yes, Catherine McKnight is talking about that you're particularly interested, find this interesting, particular regard to the mental health first aid. Yes, Catherine, when I saw your interview with Lindsay, I very much enjoyed what you were saying. And yes, these would be very helpful, I think, as a tool for people to use. Like, we don't say, don't use medication. They can work with medication, so they don't interfere with medication. I need to say as well that there's no side effects. You can't overdose. That's important to say as well. So they can be taken alongside conventional medication. So I think it's probably time for me to finish up. I see Lindsay's there and Janet is there. I'll probably come in later and answer your comments, maybe today or tomorrow, for your questions, because I don't want to run over time for the next person. So I just want to say thank you again to Lindsay McGregor Inglis for giving us the opportunity to come on to the Now Network of Women, which is a wonderful supportive network for women in business. And thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you watching live and the replay. And thank you for your comments. If you want to find out more, my Facebook page is called Empowering Sensitive Children. So it's www.facebook.com/Empowering Sensitive Children. But I do work with adults as well. And yes, and you can phone me even if you just wanted to have a 20-minute, discovery call to find out, if you'd like to work with me. I just need to say that I work one-to-one in person, face-to-face. I also do a lot of consultations online, particularly during the whole COVID thing. I'm mainly gone online now, as most people have. I've also, I've also done workshops for the Flourishing Well, for adults who have either physical or mental health difficulties. So I have done workshops for other people as well, just if they want to find out more. So if you're interested in a consultation or a workshop or anything like that, please get in touch. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your comments and your time today. So bye for now.